All right, I want to start this lesson by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rikakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles and teachers and wise men of great millstone that I learned this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Salutations out there to the elect. All right, I want to do a part 2 to the lesson that I did before this one. This is going to be a part 2. So let's start also in the Deuteronomy 28:54 to get some context. And this is going to give you another example of the consequences of disobedience, which stem from what? Us Israelites turning from the Lord, not hearkening to his word, serving other gods, doing wickedness instead of, choosing life, choosing death. And this is one of the consequences, This is one of the curses that the Lord is going to have us under until Yahushua comes back and deliver the Israelites. All right, this is Deuteronomy 28:54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. Remember that, having an evil eye towards his brother, which you're going to see in the video that I'm going to play. It says, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So the Israelites will be under the curses. You see, the average Israelite man that's not in the truth, that doesn't seek the Lord, he's going to have an evil eye towards his brother, you see, which is why you will get situations like this that occur. Let's start the video. This video says, dad unalive checking on daughter at Bojangles where she worked. Her manager is now in jail. All right, let's play the video.
Family in Fulton County preparing to celebrate their first Christmas without their father after police say he
Talaki. It's gonna play.
was shot and killed outside of a fast food restaurant earlier this month. Channel 2's Michael Seiden is live in Palmetto tonight. And Michael, you learned this father, he was simply trying to make sure that his daughter was safe.
And the victim's
19-year-old
daughter worked here. She told me that her father was simply doing what any loving dad would do, stepping in to make sure his daughter was okay when her co-worker shot and killed him in the parking lot of this Bojangles.
Oh, I still haven't processed it yet. It doesn't seem real.
For the first time in her life, 19-year-old Amari Goodman is preparing for Christmas without her father. 43-year-old Dominique Goodman, who was shot and killed earlier this month in the parking lot of this Bojangles in Palmetto.
I don't even want to celebrate Christmas because it doesn't feel right.
Amari says she was working her shift at Bojangles when she says her manager, Maurice Evans, began harassing her, a situation that escalated into an argument. Amari says she called her father for help. Police say Evans was told to go home, but instead, he waited in the parking lot with a gun until Amari's father arrived.
He isn't a man. Any man would have stood up to another man, had a conversation with them about their daughter.
Tonight, Amari's remembering her father as an incredible man who led by example, an ambitious dad of 5 with a baby girl on the way.
My dad.
Let's look at the manager. You see, like this guy, he killed her father. You see, instead of just going home, he stayed in the parking lot. So what does that mean? He had an evil eye. He had an evil eye towards his brother, his fellow, so-called black man. He had an evil eye against another so-called black man. You see, that's having that evil eye, which goes back to the curses, having an evil eye towards your brother. Instead of just going home, he decided to wait and kill that young girl's father. All right, let's get another scripture. This is Amos 3:6. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people be not afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord have not done it? You see? So the Lord caused this evil to be done in that city, at that restaurant at Bojangles. which goes back to that evil eye, which goes back to what? The Lord bringing the curses. We're putting the curses on Jake. You see how they connect? That evil eye, which goes to the which is talking, which is the curses. You know, that evil eye that Jake had towards his brother. The Lord used that to bring that evil in the city. You see? All right, let's let it play some
A
more.
situation that escalated into an argument. Amari says she called her father for help. Police say Evans was told to go home, but instead, he waited in the parking lot with a gun until Amari's father arrived.
He isn't a man. Any man would have stood up to another man, had a conversation with them about their daughter.
Tonight, Amari's remembering her father as an incredible man who led by example. An ambitious dad of 5 with a baby girl on the way.
My dad was a great man, a very hardworking man.
For family friend and attorney Robert Williams Jr., this case is personal.
Mr. Goodman was my friend. He worked with me doing intakes and things like that in my law office. And that's why this case really touched my heart.
Williams says since the December 7th tragedy, he and his team have launched their own investigation into his friend's accused killer.
Yep, accused killer. Now he's a murderer. Let's get another scripture. This is Ecclesiasticus 9:12. And you see the father, he didn't know. He didn't know that whether he was gonna, make it out of that situation or not. He didn't realize Jake had a gun. Which means what? Let's read. For man know it not his time. You see? He didn't know that was the day he was gonna die. It says, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of man snared in an evil time when it suddenly fall upon them. You see? And it was his time to be, to be unalive. The Lord brought that evil time upon the father. That's why the Lord put it on his spirit, to go to that situation, to go and check on his daughter. And the Lord brought that evil time on him. It was his time to go to the spiritual world, go to the spiritual realm, to go back to the Father. You see, it was his time. He didn't know it, but the Lord knew it. All right, let's get another scripture. This is Salakia. You see, and it all goes back to the Lord. Is what the Lord wanted to happen. This is Deuteronomy 32:39. It says, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. There's no two most highs. There's only one most high. There's only one all father, you see, who created his son. You see, the Son of God was created. The Most High is not created. There's no two most highs. There's no God or other being on the level of the Most High. That's what that means. It says, I kill and I make alive. You see, the Lord kills. He makes alive. He wounds. He says, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. You see? So the Father couldn't be delivered because it was his time to go. The Lord brought that evil time upon him, and it was his time to go back to the spiritual realm. You see? Which stemmed from what? One of the causes was that evil eye. You see? That evil eye that Jake has towards his brother. That was one of the causes. That's why the Lord can be very terrible. You see? As a matter of fact, let's end with that scripture, then I'll let the video play out. Terrible. Let's see. All right. Let's end with this scripture. All right. Psalm 65:5. It says, come and see the works of the Lord, which are done in the earth and in the sun, the moon, the sky, in space. The work of the Lord, or the works of the Lord, are done everywhere. It says he is terrible in his doing towards the children of man. You see? So the Lord can be very terrible. That's why he should be feared. That's why every creature, let everything that have breath fear the Lord. You see?
There's evidence that this
All right. Let's go back and let it play out.
Williams says since the December 7th tragedy, he and his team have launched their own investigation into his friend's accused killer.
There's evidence that this gentleman was using drugs during his shift at work at Bojangles.
And tonight, Maurice Evans remains behind bars without bond. He's charged with murder and aggravated assault. As for this grieving family, as you can imagine, they've got a lot of bills, a lot of things going on in their lives. They've set up a GoFundMe page. If you'd like to help them out, we've posted all the details on our website, WSBTV.com. We're live in Palmetto. Michael Seiden, Channel 2 Action.
All right. And that's another example, that's another example of the consequences of disobedience. You see? That's why, to you Israelites out there, those that take heed to this message and those that are edified by this lesson and other lessons that I do, choose life. Choose life so that you can live. All right. In the lesson here. Shalom.